500, sure. So 500 is Goshaku, right? So you go for go. Check. 500. 500. Oh, 500. Pretty easy. Yeah, I'm doing great. How about you, Mike? How about you, Smoker? Smoker Joker? Yes, thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Comment what should I translate for you in Japanese or any name. Tell me now. What? HHFDHDH. Tell me now. Oh, you want to know what's tell me now in Japanese? Like 20. Comment what should I translate for you in Japanese? It can be a name, it can be anything. Wow, thanks for joining. Arian, sure. Um, it's also easy. Arian. 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 Okay. I eat water. Or you can use it. Want to it? Fancy test. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. How much should I translate for you in Japanese? Can be name, can be anything. Or if you heard something crazy, something in Japanese, you can as well translate it back to you. Do I eat water? Yeah, basically the thing in Japanese, same as water. I don't know, man. If you water is good. Break. Really? Thank you. Oh. Back. So I eat water. Sure, you can say it. So water. 水を食べる。水 water. I mean, it's the same. I do water, I eat water is the same in Japanese. There's not really a difference. Because the language in itself has some different it's different concentrated than English. So, 水を食べる。水 here, wait, where's mine? Better? Right, worse. Now, kind of. Okay, now. Water, or makes more active, 食べる eat, water. So do and those concepts that you have in English, like water, right? Water. It's not a difference in Japanese because the concept is just different. Sure, you can say tabitari suru. But it will be more like a habit. So yeah, comment anything I should translate into Japanese or a name that I can write down in Japanese as well. That'll do for you. Waiting for your requests. Hey man, hey, thanks for joining. Come on, I should translate for you in Japanese. Can be also names well. HD Hector, thanks for joining. Oh, I should translate for in Japanese. I will do it, mate. Come on, what should I translate for you? Morning. Write down what should I translate for you in Japanese in the comments, and I will write it down for you. Or if you want to have your name written in Japanese, I can do it as well. Hey, good morning too. You know what you mean? You obviously know it because you have this emoji. Like, like Pikachu. Pika is like the sparkling shoes, his sparkling kiss. Write down anything, or if you want to know something in English as well from Japanese, I can do this. I can translate it as well. なんか英語から日本語へ通訳しても大丈夫です。 書いても構いません。I'm waiting for your requests. Can be anything. This much is not an insult. まあ、侮辱じゃなければ何でもいいです。こう、誰かを分属するとか、なんちゃらとか。これ以外ですね。じゃThank you for joining. Comment whether should I translate into Japanese or common name that I write down for you in Japanese. Common name that I should write down in Japanese, and I will do for you. Hey, thanks for joining.
いらっしゃいませ。おおきに。
Common name or common anything that I should translate in Japanese for you, I will do it for you here live on stream. TB something, what's up? Thank you for joining. Write down what I should. Yeah, comment what I should translate for you in Japanese, or comment the name that I can write down for you in Japanese, in English name. Thank you for following, Daniel. Bus Aga. Write down the name in English and I will write it down for you in Japanese, or maybe Japanese phrase that you want to know or you heard. Comment and I will translate for you here. I will write it down. Tablet. Show you how it's read. Funny. Comment something. Now I'll translate for you in Japanese. Or comment what you want to have translated into Japanese. It can be also name as well. So you can write your name as well. But you know, just writing names sometimes is just not that much of a thrill. If you want to know something more about Japanese, about language, about the grammar, maybe you have trouble with something. For example, the most trouble that people have is separate wa and ga particle because they are, well, they're pretty much similar. Yeah, wa and ga. One is the object marker, the other one is ga is the object marker, and wa is the topic marker. And of course, sometimes it happens that the object is the same as the topic. So you have to know what's the main sentence is, what the sub-sentence is. And by the way, if you want to learn Japanese, I would start off with learning the alphabet. It's the same as Korean. If you want to learn Korean, start with Hangul. If you want to learn Japanese, start with Hiragana and Katakana. Because if you don't know it, the pronunciation is slightly different. So if you just stick, I know many people are often, when you're learning Japanese, they just stick to freaking Romaji, and this is destroying their own pronunciation because you cannot really display the pronunciation of hiragana or katakana to Romaji. It's slightly different. And this is why it's important to learn the alphabet first. The same goes in Korean. If you have like 3 types of consonants, and if you kind of don't know, the consonants and how they're read, pretty bad for you. Because knowing the consonants, knowing how they're read, most important thing in Korean and Japanese. And actually also, yeah, you have also some rules you have to know. These, thank you for joining. Common name in English, and I will write down for you in Japanese.
いらっしゃいませ。
As well, if you want to, know something in Japanese, maybe you picked up a word from anime, from drama, and also translate for you in Japanese. Alternatively, you can also write down something in English, I'll translate into Japanese. For example, hey, I don't know, I'm struggling with this kind of sentence, I don't know how I have to express in Japanese, and sometimes it is hard to express some easy things, some easy things that are in English into Japanese. Because sometimes about some parts in daily life that you use maybe in England, in the US, this way of thinking is not really often used in Japanese. So if you learn a new language, you also learn the way of thinking. And if you want to be good in Japanese, you have to be open towards new way of thinking and perceiving things. Because it is different than English one. With perception. For example, if someone says in the Western world, can you write me down? Can you draw a sound, a sun? Right? Everyone will. What kind of color you will draw? Of course, yellow. Mostly yellow. Right? In Japan though, the kid will draw the sound red. That is why the Japanese flag has this red dot which symbolizes the sun. Because in Japanese folklore, the sun is depicted always red. Or things like, you know, typical things like the freaking color of the traffic light. Yeah, normally you say green, right? Green is in Japanese midori. However, for traffic lights, mostly you don't use midori, but blue. Same goes for like greens, right? If you want to have greens, you say aoyasai, blue. Blue vegetables, blue veggies. Westerner, you will say blue? What the frick, blue? But it's just a different perception. And by learning a language like Japanese, you have to be also open towards new perception. Because this kind of perception, will also dictate how good you will understand Japanese in this subtle discussions. Because Japanese is just full of subtleties. Many people are just, write down the name, by the way, if you just joined, if you want to have Japanese written do for you or translate anything for you, or if you have any questions concerning Japanese language, grammar, you name it, just without hesitation, right now. So there's a perception shift when you are learning a new language. For example, if you learn languages like Spanish, maybe you might be because especially in South America, the Spanish-speaking countries are not really that punctual, right? So when you learn this kind of language or this dialect, you will also have this perception. And some people will say, hey, how rude, it's really rude, right? Like Japanese people will say it is rude, right? To be delayed. But there's just a different perception of the different country concerning time. So the more of those perceptions you gather, the less you can actually get irritated and angry about those things, because you understand those cultural differences. The most important thing learning and adapting this culture, not fighting against it, but culture becomes a part of you. I mean, with Japanese, you can start off with really small things like, for example, before every meal you say itadakimasu. I'm still doing it. Or after every meal you say gochusama deshita. Or if you go from home, you say like itadakimasu. Right? When you come home, you say tadaima. Like those subtleties, and especially languages like Japanese, Korean, they're full of subtleties. Really subtle things that make this language work. And it's, if you learn like any grammar, some grammars or some words are appropriate for a certain situation and some not. So learning those languages, you have always to keep in mind, especially when you do the review, not just doing the review from the same source that you're always gathering information from, but from another one. What should I write down for you in Japanese? I'll do for you. Thanks for joining. Oh, comment name I should write down in Japanese. I'll do for you. Or if you have any question concerning Japanese, I'll do for you as well. Hey, thank you for joining. I kind of read your name though. 来てくださってありがとうございます。○○が参加しました。Thank you. I kind of read. I cannot see actually his name is not displayed right. サンフランシスコからこんにちは。来てくださってありがとうございます。Jane and Emma, thank you for joining. What should I write down for you in Japanese? I'll do fire. Toshia と読むね。なるほど。It's read as Toshia. Right, so it's like from Mio. From Vimeo, right? No, it's not Binkan. I mean, not B but B. Yeah, Binkan. Bin.もっと褒めるように毎日取り組んでまいります。Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. So yeah, basically, learning any language is always a new perception, a new way of thinking, and also widens your own horizon, no matter what kind of language you're learning. But yeah, languages like Japanese are full of subtleties, are full of the Korean is all full of subtleties, full of this kind of situational based grammar. So you have to be careful like nowhere else, because if you learn in certain grammar, it can be appropriate in one situation, another one is totally inappropriate. Same goes for example, you use like your levels of being polite, right? Sure, you can go with freaking some keigo all over the place. TikTok on my. Oh, welcome TikTok. It's amazing that you started. Hi. すごいですね。始まったばっかりってこと。Right. Thanks for joining. What should I write down for you in Japanese and translate in Japanese? I'll do for you in real life. Thanks for joining. Much appreciated, mate. Yeah, by the way, if you haven't seen my video, I have put in a video today about motivation. That many people struggling like get back on track, you know, fell off the wagon, learning Japanese or different language, or you know, going towards a goal. It's always hard, don't get me wrong. And it's also more like a habitual issue rather than issue of the emotional issue. And it's really an individual thing. You have to know yourself before even starting. Ah, ありがとうございます。初めてのライブですね。ようこそ。 からこう basically to motivate yourself important. I mean, currently I'm reading book from Yamato from Kondo. 今ヤマトコンドットのヤマトの本読んでる。And he has written was nice thing. I mean, I really don't know it, but you know, now I have a reference. He has written one nice thing that when you are Oh, hey, 参加しました。Thank you. It is when you are kind of, it doesn't talk about motivation, but it just talk about goal settings. But I feel like goal settings and motivation is just one thing. Because basically falling off of the wagon is just the lack of clarity. Hmm, 英語と日本語のミックスのライブ配信最高。ありがとうございます。ちなみに他の言葉も喋ります。Like in my case, currently I am learning my language, my 8th language, which is Korean. Because I just was kind of interesting how to read the whole Hangul thing. And I mean, it's also kind of nice, you know, if you watch some Korean dramas. It kind of gets to you. But the thing is, how can I always still keeping on doing the thing? I'm still learning it by myself using Japanese because it's more, you know, it's the closest language. Like, you know, if you go for Korean and learn it from English to Korean, it's harder than you learn it from Japanese to Korean because concepts are more similar and also how you put up the sentence also similar. However, the particle system is different. They have more particles in Japanese, and there are some particles that are used a little bit differently than Japanese, especially the ro particle. Basically the Japanese de. And when they're using it, sometimes they use it like a ni. So it's getting sometimes really confusing. たまにめっちゃ迷ってる。韓国語を勉強すると、語呂で書いてあんのに、どうしてこれはでじゃなくてにのかって、概念はちょっと違うねって。Concept is a bit different. So let's go back to the motivational thing. Motivation is actually a lack of clarity if you don't have motivation. Because if you are just going towards something, not knowing where you go, because you don't see this shining object in front of you somewhere in the sky, right, somewhere on a hill, it is hard for you to see it because you feel it's unreachable, it's unreachable. However, motivation is really practical. You set a big goal. For example, I want to reach the JLPT N5, you know. For the N5, by the way, you need 800 words, 100 kanjis, and around 200 grammars, I believe. Yeah, for the N5, to succeed there. I mean, you have to know everything. Basics. And then what you do is just divide it through 365 and do every single day a little bit. It doesn't have to be much. You can do it just like 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. It's more than enough. This is how I'm continuing learning Korean by myself. Just 15 minutes a day. Get on the app, Get Anki or other apps to have your space repetition, to make your flashcards and make the space repetition so you can repeat it every single day. I'm actually write every time my things in Korean always on the tablet, so I know how I was writing. Morning. Write down what I should translate for you in Japanese. And if you, some people, but first, before you even go so far, you have to know yourself. The most important aspect when it comes to motivation is to know yourself. Understanding what motivates you, what stretches you, what things. Because there are people, they're different people, really. For some people, things like having an accountability partner, meeting every single 毎週、人とズームとかしたり、そこでバッツとご褒美を決めたりとか。So you get a forfeit and a reward every single day in Zoom, for example. Meet up, making up your goals for the next week. When you reach it, you get a reward. If not, you have the forfeit. And one of the most practical forfeits are for sure monetary forfeits. For example, every time you miss this goal, you have to give $10 or $50. I mean, you don't have to go really bankrupt with it, but it has to hurt you. For example, $100. If you earn maybe like 1-2K, $100 can hurt you much, a lot. Every single time you miss, you give $100. It can hurt you much. Some people would just give up on the way, or lose some motivation at all and just say, no, I don't do anything. And then throw it up. If you this kind of person, you have to go a different approach. But if you say, okay, like this forfeit game is good for me, I can do it. I know it will stretch myself, but not overstretch. One of the biggest issues also with motivation is people are setting goals that are too high to reach. Right? For example, you're broke right now. You set a goal to become the 8-figure earner in the next year. It is simply impossible. Right? I mean, sure, you can win the lottery or get money from someone. But starting a startup within 1 year, having 8 figures, nobody has done it. Maybe you will be the first one. But it's really big stretch. And those kind of unachievable goals make people just say, no, I give up on the half of the way. でかすぎるの目的があると、すごく人は途中で諦めたり傾向があるっていうことですね。そう考えると、自分なりにちょっと成長できるかつちょっとストレッチできるかつ本当にまだ届けるゴールというの目的を設定した方がいいかなと思います。Really crucial if you set any goals in your life. Is it Japanese? Is it a monetary goal? Is it to build up a company? Is it to have a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube and everything? To divide it and have this simple tasks. You say in Japanese, ちり積もれば山となる I believe. That's right? ちり積もれば If you pile up dust, it becomes a mountain. So it's all about habitual things that you do every single day. And you continue doing it. There's also if you have read or being in the course of Mel Robbins, he also tells like there's a rule of 2, never miss twice. So basically, you can miss 1 day, 2 days if you build up a new habit, like 1 day, but never 2 days, because then you're more keen to just drop off the wagon for a longer period of time, and it becomes harder for you to get up back on track. However, if you one of those person who really get off the wagon, and you still wanna when you still wanna get back on track, it is still possible. Was right. Write down what I should translate for in Japanese, or write down Japanese. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, dust. Yeah, if you pile this up, it becomes a mountain. Yep. Exactly. And basically, you have just to keep on doing it. Even when you fell off the wagon, the last thing you should do is to blame yourself. Blaming yourself is nothing you can do. See those things when you are fell off the wagon, it's a chance. It's a chance to review your steps. Maybe to think about it, what went wrong. For example, you're doing things and feel like you have this imposter syndrome. How can you kind of overcome this? Funny. Comment a name, I will write it down for you in Japanese, or anything you want to have translated, I will free to translate for you. So basically, when you're doing the whole thing with motivation, it's also important to take into consideration what to do if you fell off the wagon and you feel not good to get back on track. Well, this is a moment where you can analyze things. Don't waste your time in blaming and shaming yourself. Because I know so many motivational speakers or some gurus who saying like, hey, you have to push forward, you have to hustle, 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 doing the whole hustle thing for 5, 6 years, 10 years, eating shit. Like Gary Vee is always telling, you know, you have to eat shit, you have to hustle, you have to appreciate what you're doing and hustle, and for, you know, like 18 hours a day. And to be honest, it can just destroy you. And sometimes if you over hustle, sometimes if you see no results, it becomes kind of imposter syndrome. So how to get out of this imposter syndrome? Well, it is not that hard if you have any results, right? And if you don't have any results, you can't just make your own journey, what you do every single day to reach the goal. And if you feel like in the long run, it doesn't kind of help you, you don't see big movements, or maybe you have to tweak your approach. Maybe you have to do it a little bit different. Because today I also read a nice thing from, again, Yamato. He said, success doesn't equals pushing through. Just gum butter. It isn't enough. You have to have the right vector. For the right vector of approaching. So what is interesting, what he has written in his book is, when you are trying to approach something and get towards this book, and get towards this very goal, right? For example, you want to become a freaking soccer player. The one you approach is just lifting up the ball. You cannot become the best soccer player, right? Because you have to you have not just to lift up the ball, you have to be the best runner, you have to shoot, you have to see the whole field, and many things you have to consider. Not just focusing on one thing. Sure, the one thing can be your trump card. However, you have to focus on multiple things, right? Same for, you also take, like, if you want to go to Todai, right, to the Tokyo University, which is not the best right now. In the best one, I believe, is in Beijing. I mean, the two Chinese are the best one. And then we have the two in Singapore, and on the 6th place is in the whole Asian region. On the 6th place is Todai. Back in the days, used to be number 1, but not anymore. So yeah, see you later. Hope you liked it. Yeah, okay, ありがとうございます。Thank you. Oh, sorry, I haven't seen it. Okay, sure. ありがとうございます。ミーティングを、楽しんでください。ちなみに今はドイツでは今、ほぼ、夜の2時です。2時ちゃうね。夜の、8時です。12時ですね。20時ですね。すみません。20時。はい、20時です。夜8時ですね。Yeah. Oh yeah. But what I want to say is, and he said, like, okay, you want to go to the best university, and the only thing you're focused on is learning English vocabulary. You cannot reach this goal because it's the wrong approach. You have to approach on multiple things. Right? You have to see things that you're not good at, and try to become better at it. Right? But also, at the same time, make a review on other subjects that don't suck at them as well. Because to get to Todai, you have to do freaking tests. And all the subjects you used to have at school. Right? The whole Sogo Kamoku thing, where you have this whole subjects that you had at school, maybe also math, maybe also the whole Rika thing. It depends where you want to go, right? If you Bunkei, right? If you do the full more, yeah, Bunkei. Damn. How do you translate Bunkei? Bunkei to Rika. Yeah, literature more the literature. Yeah, humanities, social science. Yeah, social science. Yeah. If you're more social science, then it's something. Thanks for joining. Fine. Thanks for joining. Thank you for joining. Comment what should I write for you in Japanese. Malia, thank you for joining. Comment what should I write down for Japanese. I can write for you. If it's a name, sure I can do it. So, if you have this Bunkei and Rike, yeah. Social studies and Rike is science, yeah. If you have science and social studies, if you have more of the social studies, when you study in university, right? Like freaking politics or even economics, right? You don't have to take the whole science thing really serious. But if you want to become the next engineer, then yes. I mean, it all depends from school to school, right? So you have to focus, and you have like this test, entrance test that you have to pass. It's hard. I mean, the most people don't pass them. It's also freaking hard. And you have to learn a lot to get there. You not just focus on one thing. So you have to tweak your approach. But in those things that are really tangible, those kind of yeah, you really know what you want to do because they are, I mean, you don't, I mean, it's easy to approach because it's tangible. You have to freaking go. You know exactly what you should do. Yeah, you can buy the kakobon, the whole books that you have with all the subjects, with all the questions for those subjects. Alright, and just get him through. You can do it. The problem is on like more things like social media or something like that. It's always like trial and error. And when something works out from someone, it is not necessary that this very thing is working out for you. So you have to always kind of see how it works, make a trial test. Does it work? Does not work? And also on the flip side, do you enjoy it or not enjoy it? Because if people enjoyed it but you don't enjoy it, it's also a bad thing. Because you cannot do it for a long period of time, it becomes just a suffering for you. So you have to find kind of the middle ground, which is kind of enjoyable by other people, but there's still demand. On the flip side, you can bring it over and over. It is not something just you can do once and never again. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. 今日もみんな来てくださってありがとうございます。明日も生配信やってまいりますので、ぜひ遊びに来てください。では、バイバイ。バイバイ。